You clicked on this video because you have one question that many people share. Should I watch the anime or read the manga? You're wondering which is better. Well, in this short video, I'm going to give you the answer and my reasoning behind that answer for this long debated topic. Manga. For those of you who don't know, manga is a style of Japanese comic book or graphic novel, according to Google. Also, as some people might not know, most anime starts out as manga. From Dragon Ball to One Piece to Demon Slayer, they all originated in this medium. Well, that's cool, but why does it matter? Well, typically, manga will run for a while, then only be picked up for an anime later. Look at JoJo Part 1, for example, which first was released as a manga back in 1979 and took 25 years to be made into an anime in 2012. This means there are countless stories, characters, and arcs out there that have yet to make the jump to the big screen, or I guess typically small screen nowadays. Now for some personal context, I have watched many animes. Again, from Dragon Ball to Demon Slayer to Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. However, what I have not done is read many mangas, if not any up until this year. Now sure, I've read pages here and there, typically while scanning through manga I found out and about, but I've never picked one up and finished it all the way through. Everything changed, however, when the Fire Nation when I took a trip to Japan. As I mentioned in my video about the trip, there was one thing that caught my eye, specifically while in the trains, was how many people actually read manga. Except 99% of the time they were reading it on their phones. My biggest gripe with manga has always been that you have to stay focused on it and you're unable to look away as you can with anime. In Japan, however, people were reading it a couple minutes at a time, when they had the time, specifically on their daily commutes. While this planted the seed in my mind, at my Airbnb they had physical copies of many of the popular mangas, one of those being Bleach. Now, I've never seen an episode of Bleach, but it's always one that's been on my list of, I have to watch this at least someday. So instead of using my downtime to swipe through Instagram Reels or watch whatever random YouTube video appeared on my feed, I decided to read through the first volume, and it was good. Now, it didn't take me all that long to read through, given most of manga's stories are mainly told through illustrations, but I enjoyed my time with it. Now also, as I mentioned in my Japan video, but I had to take an hour-long train ride to a location and back, which I won't spoil in this video, but you can find out by watching this other one. I bring this up, however, because that meant I needed something to do on this train ride.
Since I had finished Bleach, my next choice was Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Like Bleach, I had never seen any episode of it or anything, but again, it was on my list of, well, I gotta watch it someday. After finishing the whole volume and only the hour train ride there, I just knew I had to read more manga. You see, despite my stubbornness towards picking up the medium, there's been one that I've always wanted to read, that being Dragon Ball Super. Now, Dragon Ball Z has always been a favorite anime of mine, and is easily the best anime of all time. Am I biased because it was the first one I watched as a kid? Probably, but who cares? Since Dragon Ball had been released before I was even born, I had never had the experience of watching it on release, so you can only imagine how ecstatic I was as a kid when Dragon Ball Super was announced. I decided to scrape together my savings, bought a Funimation subscription, broke my own code of only watching shows in dub, caught up really fast with the anime, and watched each episode as they aired, week by week. And wow, was it amazing. I won't spoil any of it, of course, but the fight at the end of the Tournament of Power arc is my personal favorite of all time. That being said, however, the Dragon Ball Super anime went on a hiatus following the conclusion of that arc. A hiatus that's still going on to this day, with no end in sight. One thing that didn't stop, however, was the Dragon Ball Super manga. Despite knowing this, I did my best to avoid any spoilers in hopes that the anime would one day return. As my hopes diminished, however, getting into manga was the final straw. I bit the bullet and started reading Dragon Ball Super, from where the anime left off. From Moro to Granola to even Cell Max, I read it all. Despite my optimisms, I had some concerns. The first of which is being the action. I mean, Dragon Ball is a shonen. Are pictures going to be able to depict the fighting scenes as well as the anime? Well, after reading, and in my honest opinion, no. The anime just does a better job with fights. Does that mean I wouldn't recommend the manga? No. Both manga and anime have their pros and cons. As I mentioned before, manga can be quick. You can read for a couple minutes at a time and easily pick it up and put it down. This isn't something you can do with anime. It's also going to be literally quicker than watching. Manga isn't going to have filler in the traditional anime sense. Given the title of this video though, do I think you should read manga over watching anime? No. Do I think you should watch anime over reading the manga? No. My recommendation, and what I've been doing, is both.
A new anime that you've been dying to watch came out recently?
Go give it a watch.
Did you finish the first season and don't want to wait at minimum at least a year for the next one to be produced?
Go read the manga. When it comes to deciding which series to watch or read, I would play it case by case. Me personally, I want to continue reading Bleach. Instead of jumping around episode to episode with a filler guide, I'm just gonna read the manga. I hope this video was enough to even get you intrigued about manga. And me personally, I use the Shonen Jump app. It's only $3 a month for access to their whole collection. I'm sure there's many others out there with different varieties if Shonen isn't your thing, but it has Bleach and Dragon Ball Super, so I'm set. So tell me, what do you think about manga? Is it worth the read? Is it better than anime? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching.
As he said, thank you all for watching. What's your opinion on the manga versus anime debate? Make sure to let me know down in the comments below. Hey, and while you're down there, subscribe. Leave a like as well, as they both massively help out the channel. See you next time.